This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So is anything all right? That's what I want to ask as I look at the news this morning. Is anything all right?
No, and probably less than you would think is actually all right.
Really?
Yeah.
Even this is not going far enough?
Oh, no, this is on course.
It is on course.
This is good. So,
because there are a couple of things in the news this morning, right? Are people looking for trouble? You see this Bath and Beyond, or Bath and Body Works, I guess it's called, needs to fire all of the people who approved this candle artwork, says Ash on X. Have you seen the candle?
No, I have not.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It has a snowflake on it, but they think the snowflake looks like the Ku Klux Klan.
Let me look at this.
What is wrong with people? That looks to you like 5 members of the Ku Klux Klan, does it? Really? No, I've never seen an actual guy wearing a hood in the Ku Klux Klan. So I've never seen that. Oh, look at you.
I mean, it's not. It doesn't not look like when you put it next to a KKK hood, it definitely looks like it. But if I were just walking through one of the little pedals, sure. But if I was just walking through the store, I don't know, maybe that would be my first instinct. But
that it's the KKK?
Yeah, I'm not.
Well, but wouldn't it be good then? Because if you look closely at the label, he's been shot in the chest.
Yeah, I mean,
see that? Scroll down.
It's
you
not
get the eyes, but you go down. He's been shot right in the chest. Big hole.
I will say it is weird because I've never seen a snowflake depicted with like holes. I feel like it's usually like crevices or like lines and stuff, or like, you know, like kind of like that frostbitten look to it. This is just like cut out holes, which it's maybe not what I would, like Tevin said. It's not what I would see. Like my instinct would be that if I saw it in the store, but if you put A and B next to each other, I'm like, you know what? I can see the correlation.
Yeah, it's more just a terribly looking snowflake. Although
that's probably what it is.
I am behind the the KKK got together. They're like, all right, guys, here's what we're gonna do.
Oh, for Christ!
We're gonna make
a Bed Bath and Beyond scented candle.
Not Bed Bath and Beyond.
Bath and Body Works.
Yeah, see, disparaging other businesses.
This is how we make our resurgence.
Let's really make this a white Christmas.
Hey, keep it up, and we will. All right, that's all I got to say to you, pal. That's all you got coming your way. Now, it just seems to me we're so far over the top with all of it. It's like, would you calm down, for Christ's sake? So apparently they are going to pull it from the deal. I don't know. It looks like a snowflake to me. First of all, it looks like if it was a KKK member, it would be a cartoon of a KKK member, which wouldn't that piss the KKK off anyway? Are they even still around? Is the Ku Klux Klan still around?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are.
Yeah, I don't think it's like as predominant as it once was.
People aren't as proud about announcing that they're a part of it.
Why not? Let's go. If you joined a club, let's step up and admit it.
From my understanding, yes, they are very much still around.
Are they in the South?
Yes.
There's no KKK here that I know of.
I'm not sure about like their location exactly, but I would imagine that it's more than likely in the southern part of the states.
I heard, I don't know if it was just me, but I heard that straight between your and Bilski's house, that's where they are.
Right down the line there?
Yeah, right down the line. So it all works out in the end, but no, I don't know. Everybody's all whipped up about everything again, and everybody's pissed off, and oh my God, they're going to do this and they're going to do that. And you got Tim Walz that's caught in about 55 lies, and he said, I just misspoke. Why would we want a vice president who misspeaks so often?
Yeah, it seems like every week he's misspoke about something new. And it's not like it's very weird things that I feel like will sometimes misspeak about.
That sounds like it. Then you got the other guy, J.D. Vance, even though I posted about it over the week, not him directly, but this whole idea that he apparently in 2016 to his roommate in college or his former roommate in college or whatever, said that Donald Trump was like Hitler or something.
Yeah,
Or
he's
something like that.
He's like documented, like calling him that, which is
It is not documented. It's just from his roommate. So yes, it's a phony document. Look, I'm not saying he didn't do it. Don't get me wrong. But everybody always thinks that their side is 100% proven and the other side can prove nothing. That's what humans do.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I don't, this is the best we can do, huh? We got guys calling each other hit. And so I did post over the weekend because I'm sick to death of it. Look, what Hitler did and what the Nazis did cannot be used in any way, shape, or form to try to hurt your opponent. Millions of people were murdered by these psychopaths. And I use the example, I would see some of my friends' grandparents, because again, North Side, a lot of Jews lived on the North Side in those days, and they still had the tattooed numbers on their bodies. And I asked as a little boy, 5, 6, 7 years old, what they were. And then I understood they didn't explain completely what they were to me. I will tell you that. But I just don't call people Hitler. Okay. It's the man might be the worst human being ever born. You can call him any other name. I suppose you can do whatever you want. It just, I don't know. The name calling to me, oh, you're weird.
Yeah.
What?
The extermination of, or the attempted extermination of a whole group of people,
Right.
doesn't necessarily, isn't you can't call somebody Hitler when they raise your taxes 5%.
No.
Or whatever the percentage is. Like there's a little bit of a difference there.
Yeah, Hitler. They go right to Hitler. What? Honest God, couldn't we just go to some politician that's a criminal? Because most of them are.
Yeah, dude, like we could have found in the history of the world, like the 10th worst leader. Like there's got to be levels to like work your way up to the Hitler.
Okay, so we're going to do a deal with people.
Mm.
You don't call people Hitler, and I won't buy a candle that looks like the KKK. There. We just met in the middle. Everything is good. It's all whatever. That's all I have to say to anybody. Now, I don't know about there's some good stories in the news this morning. Columbus Day, that's today, isn't it? Isn't today Columbus Day?
Yep. Columbus/Indigenous Peoples
Day.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Columbus Day poll, hero or villain. Wasn't that like what 600 years ago or something? Or
I thought it was pretty decisive villain.
Yep.
You did?
Yeah, he raped a bunch of people.
So did you. We don't bring that up.
Well, that's I think it's very interesting. I think it's very interesting. Let's not call anybody Hitler. You're a rapist.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. How can they prove any of that ever happened?
Yeah, it's hard to say how they can prove it. I'm sure somebody's got proof out there somewhere.
How?
But, I don't know. They probably documented it because he was journaling about his trips across. It'd be a weird thing for him to put in his journal, but I don't know. Maybe somebody else saw something.
I don't know. Let me click on and see what they think about. Look, I'm not a big hero. Columbus Day, this guy and that guy, and blah. That stuff doesn't mean a damn thing to me. But he did do a lot of good things, also, did he not?
Yeah, I would assume that he did some good things. Without him, it'd probably be argued that, who knows, this country that we're living in right now would look a lot different. And it's, I don't know. I guess I never growing up was like, yay, Columbus.
No, I wouldn't either.
Like that. It was just like, yeah, he was some guy that did something way back in the day.
And he was Spanish, but it was the Italians that sent him over here. Or was it the opposite? He was Italian and the Spanish sent him over. I can never remember that because I don't care.
Yeah, it's one of the two. My history teacher probably is yelling at the speakers right now. Didn't you pay attention?
Okay, a few quick Columbus Day stats. 69% agree he played an important part of American history. It's kind of hard to argue that he didn't. But we're split on whether he was more of a hero or a villain. The most popular answer is neither or both, or it's complicated, but 35% said hero and 20% said villain. So look, you guys are in the minority. See, I told you.
I feel like people got to do a little more research than like it takes a Google search to realize a lot of the horrific things he did.
Like, what did he do?
Well, he tortured people. He used starvation as a weapon against the indigenous people.
But didn't they all do that?
Well,
all people around the world did that.
And does that make it right, though?
I'm not saying it made it right, but you can't just go, that's the only place it happened.
That's not what I said. I'm saying that he used that as a weapon to, like, when coming over to steal that type of land. So.
No, I'm talking about the view of it, not what he did. If you're going to condemn it, you need to condemn everybody who does those kinds of things, which we don't bother to do. I agree with you. If he did it, then he should be condemned. But so should everybody else who's ever done it, instead of hiding. Oh, I happen to like that guy, so we'll hide it.
Yeah, and I would say that if along Christopher Columbus's journey, somebody met him and was like, "I'm taking over the show now," and now we're celebrating, Johnson whatever holiday instead of Christopher Columbus, we'd probably be boycotting him too for the stuff that he did.
Well, I'm sure look, I mean, they're human beings. First of all, I'm not saying it's a human thing to go massacring people and all the rest of it and blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. It just seems when I look at the headlines now, no one can ever be happy with anything. We didn't get Columbus Day off. I should be pissed off about that.
Exactly. And a lot of the people that are like, that get upset about Christopher Columbus and things like that sometimes feels like maybe it's deflecting from handling some of the issues that are current today that maybe would make the world a better place, rather than kind of going back in time to something we can't really change.
I will tell you, though, that because I am a generation or two older than you guys, you wouldn't have liked the world back when I was a kid. I can promise you that.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely
there's no
not.
cell phones.
And
yeah, no cell phones at all. That's exactly right. Yeah, that made it much better.
Yeah, and 100 years from now, they'll be like, "Oh, Jesus, could you believe living back in 2020? Like, that would be terrible as well." So yeah, we're always going to be progressing.
Exactly.
And the one thing that'll probably stay the same is nobody will be happy.
And they never. Well, so these politicians have it right. Then they're never happy, so they got it all nailed. That works for me. Yeah, these guys, these men and women and their politics, it's like, oh, God, whatever. All I have to say to you is whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how it should be. Now, I'm just looking at some other headlines here. We got to move on here in a second. I understand that. But like I said, some people like it. Some people don't. They're going to argue about this. They're going to argue about that. Oh, my God. It's just, people just can't agree on anything anymore. Why is that?
I don't know. And people can't apologize because there's
no. Oh, God, no.
I don't know that AJ, his fish died yesterday, and I make a fish joke, and then he's like, "Hey, I was offended. My little goldfish died yesterday. Oh, my bad, AJ. Sorry, won't happen again."
Thanks a lot, man.
Nobody wants to just do that.
I'm still mourning Goldie over here. You pull out that crap. Come on.
Well, I'll close with this because this is important. We've talked about Bad Bath and Berditzman or whatever the hell it's called, and we talked about Columbus. Talked about this. The thing I'm really worried about is the health of Jelly Roll, because he just dropped 100 pounds. Now, was he trying to, or is he sick?
I think probably trying to, and then being on the road. Sometimes if you don't have access to some foods, your weight can either go way up or way down. But I feel like he's so busy, maybe he just doesn't have as much time to eat as much food as maybe he was before.
Is he a good guy? He seems like a really good guy.
I think so.
Some of the behind the scenes social interaction stuff I've seen from him, he seems like a very genuine person.
Yeah, it does. He seems like a very, very nice guy. No question about it. Jelly Roll's new album is officially here, and it's dominating the airwaves. And he surprised us all by releasing a deluxe version called Beautifully Broken, Picking Up the Pieces, that has 6 bonus tracks in addition to the 22 he's got 28 songs on an album. Holy Hannah.
It's quite a bit.
That's a lot of songs on one album.
It's quite a bit.
What are they, all a minute long?
Yeah, it's just like a really long song just chopped into sections.
Hey guys, I'm gonna go listen to the new Jelly Roll album. Sweet, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yes.
Yep, there you go. Actually, he sat down with Joe Rogan and got really emotional detailing the intense journey he's been on, losing all the weight. He's such an inspirational human being. It makes me want to get healthier too. I don't know who threw that part in there, but yeah, I just he seems like a very, very nice guy. He's a very genuine guy. He helps people constantly. So Jelly Roll, whatever you need, pal, you got our support, or my support anyway. I can't give you somebody else's support, I guess, but I think it's fantastic. Just a really good guy working hard to get healthier. And because his wife is not a very big person, is she? Somebody told me his wife is like tiny. Although I suppose anybody standing next to a guy who weighs 500 pounds is going to look tiny. I suppose you're going to look tiny, but
yeah, Bonnie.
Is it Bonnie?
Appears to be her name. Yeah.
Is she
Bonnie XO?
Is there a picture?
Yes.
And?
Blonde. She's tall, and yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I would consider her of average size, I guess.
Right.
Normal looking human being.
Is she pretty?
Yeah, she's cute.
I'm glad to hear that. See, Jelly Roll, lose another 300-400, you're good to go.
Yeah, they met in 2015, so
very
good
sweet
for them.
We got to take a break. We'll be right back in a couple of minutes. Some Hunyuk, Phil Mackey, that's his name, I think.
Yeah, I think he's going to crawl out of the sports cave for the day.
I think it's true. All right, Tom Barnard here for Livia Weight Control Centers, ready to lose weight for good. Well, today's the day. Livia Days and the big offers were just announced. Since 2009, Livia has been the trusted expert in all things weight loss, whether you're looking for a holistic approach through customized nutrition support or medical weight loss solutions, or both, they've got you covered. With their award-winning nutrition plans, not only will you lose weight, you'll learn how to keep it off. The team at Livia Medical offers GLP-1 medication options tailored just for you. Livia is the premier choice. Why settle for anything less than the best? Voted #1 in weight loss year after year, and right now is the perfect time to choose the best. Livia Days are here for a very limited time. Visit Livia.com, that's LIVEA.com, or call 855-GO-LIVIA and receive 8 weeks free off Livia's nutrition plan when you join Livia Medical. GLP-1 medications are now available for new clients for just $199 a month for a very limited time. Visit Livia.com or call 855-GO-LIVIA.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer, or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. I would highly recommend it because, first of all, the one thing you don't want to do is invest. I'm your friend. Why don't you invest with me? Because you don't know what you're doing. You mean that's what I'm talking about? Josh is a professional. That's what I'm saying. Call Josh today, 952-925-5608, and set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That is 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold, Investment Consultant, LLC, Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
And this is Phil Mackey.
Yes.
Try to be bragging about that Gopher win. UCLA sucks.
You suck. Come on now.
You
Let's pump
suck
it up.
bigger. You look like a Ku Klux Klan member on a snowflake.
Wow. That's the look I was going for today.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what do you mean? It was UCLA, storied program. Both fans were very loud in that stadium for UCLA.
That was sad.
That's about as sparse of a Rose Bowl stadium crowd as you will ever see. There were probably more Gopher fans than Bruins fans. So, yeah.
No, that was a team, what Phil's talking about back in the day. When I was a kid, it was, those teams, USC and UCLA, were packed with phenomenal players. I mean, they were both fantastic. And now USC is still hanging in there, but UCLA's program is just dreadful.
Yeah, it's bad. So, yeah, USC, actually, they hosted number 4 Penn State this weekend, had a big lead, blew it late, and then wind up losing in overtime. But yeah, the Gophers. So I think the preseason over/under in most sports books was 4.5, and they're at 4 now. I think that win against UCLA got them to 4. So if you took the over on 4.5, you just need one more in the next like month and a half, and you'll be sitting pretty. Row the boat.
Yeah, row the boat, baby. God, thank God they don't say that anymore.
Oh no, it's very much part of the team slogan.
Oh, is it still?
Oh yeah, it's baked into like the back of the helmets. And
There
PJ still ends all of his post-game interviews with "Row the boat, Sky-Yama, go Gophers."
Oh,
and then
does
he
he
crowd
really?
surfs in the locker room. Yeah.
Does he say, "I've got to go meet my wife in the hot tub"?
No, she actually she came out onto the field right after the
did she?
game, and they embraced on the field. You
Oh,
know?
that's nice. Something to see. That's a little affection between married couple. It's always good to see. Happy for them, no question about it. I got to be honest with you, Phil. This is a true story. I have not watched 1 second of playoff baseball because I can't stand the agony.
Just so the Twins have ruined your desire to watch what's been a really good
Yes.
playoff baseball 2-week stretch here.
Can't do it. I can't. My team stabbed me right in the back, and therefore it's going to take at least 6 months to get over it.
You know, I find interesting, so the Pohlads last week, they announced that we're putting the team up for sale.
Right.
And most of the reaction the last 12 months has been wildly negative toward the Pohlads because stripping the payroll and just everything about them. But over the weekend, you had 3 prominent columnists, and I love me some Patrick Royce, Suhan in the Star Tribune, and then Adam Platt from Twin Cities Business Magazine. Someone from the Twins must have started the PR spin or the narrative changing spin, because all 3 took a slightly different tone, but all 3 basically said, hey, people are being too hard on the Pohlads. The baseball business is tough. Fans aren't really that supportive of this team, because if you look at the attendance over the years, I thought it was interesting that you had 3 maybe it's just coincidence that 3 columnists came to independent conclusions to defend the Pohlads over the weekend, but
That's the world now. I mean, if you agree with me, I will kiss your ass at high noon. That's the world now, and it makes me want to vomit.
But what grace do they? This is what I'm trying to figure out. First of all, they're on the way out, so like kissing their ass doesn't matter anymore. If let's say they were a source or whatever, what I don't understand is, let's take payroll out of the discussion.
Okay.
1991, great. I know that Carl Pohlad was the owner when they won the 2 World Series, but over the last 30 plus years, they've won 2 playoff series in 30 plus years.
30 years.
Right.
There's to me, it's, and I'd be the first one to stand up and say, okay, let's calm down with the pitchforks here, with the groupthink. But
yeah,
I don't know that they deserve grace during this period.
Nope.
They tried to contract the team 25 years ago, and now they're bailing on it because it's not a fruitful enough business, which is fine. But they don't deserve to be like coddled on the way out. So
No,
I
they
don't
do
really get it.
And to blame fans don't really support this team like they say they do, with the effort or lack thereof that you have put in as an ownership group to publicly come out and say we are not going to go and pay anybody money because we're losing too much money on this TV deal and we're not going to trade for anybody at the deadline that's going to help. What do you expect from a fan support kind of point of view? Like, you want people to come out to watch a terrible baseball team? Like, come on now. You can't, blaming the fans never works when you're trying to win people over.
And how much what's the cheapest ticket now at the stadium?
Well, secondary market, you could get in for about $5 at the end of the year. But in terms of like buying through the Twins,
right?
Yeah, it's if you want to take your family of 4 or 5 and you're going to go downtown, you're going to park somewhere for, I don't know, $20-$30 minimum, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to go in. If you want to drink a beer, it's $14. If you want to get a hot dog for your kid, it adds up, man. It's hundreds of dollars for a family to go to a Twins game.
Listen to what that does to you, because I first noticed it when I took my son-in-law and 2 of his friends to a Viking game. I don't know, it was several years ago, but there were 4 of us. We each had 3 beers. Okay. By today's rate, that would be about $200.
Yeah.
$200 for a 12-pack of beer.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, Palomino.
Yeah, it's wild, man. I just in terms of, let's even take payroll out of it, because I think that's a hot button discussion, and we could debate the business of whether you should spend more money or not. Over the last so since 1991, since the Twins won their World Series in 91, I went back and I looked at all of the teams in baseball and how many playoff games have you won in the last 33 years.
Right.
It is crazy. So the Braves have won 82 playoff games since 1991. The Twins have won 9. The Astros have won 77 playoff games since 1991. Again, the Twins have won 9. I'm not even like the Yankees have won 120. Let's take the big market teams out of it for a second. Let's look at the non-top 5 market teams. Cardinals, Guardians, 75, 54 playoff wins. So from a competitive standpoint, the Twins have been bottom third of the league. They've had some stretches, like a nice run from 2001 through 2010. But once Target Field opened, they've had 2 90-win seasons in 15 years at Target Field.
God, beautiful stadium too, by the way.
It is. It's great.
Beautiful.
We don't need to defend billionaires on the way out in this case. I'm sorry.
I agree with you 100%. You were appalled by something just now.
9 like playoff individual game wins
Game wins.
So we're not talking series here. That is
you wish it was serious.
like how 9 games. You can't even accidentally win over 30 years, double-digit playoff games. That's
it's crazy.
Unacceptable.
It's crazy. And they'll kind of shrug. Well, it's the playoffs are random. And well, to some extent, yeah, like if it's in one playoff series, anyone can beat anyone. Over 34 years? Come on. Let's call
Well, at least we got the Timber. Oh, that's right. They've never won.
But here's the thing, though. If you look at Timberwolves' playoff success versus Twins' playoff success over the last 30 years, it's Timberwolves.
Yeah, but how many finals have they won?
Well, they haven't exactly checked that box yet, but
yeah, there you go.
But if you're looking for which team would you bank on the next 5 years to do some serious playoff damage, you'd pick the Timberwolves right now because they've got one of the 5 best players in the world.
That would be great because, like I said, I wasn't a fan because I was so young. But when the Lakers were the Minneapolis Lakers, and that the last time we took a championship away at the end of the season when I was about 6.
Yeah. But like
it's
a long time. That's like I was born in 85, so that team had been gone for a generation. By the time my generation was born, that's how long we've been waiting for a basketball championship around here. But like Glenn Taylor, we've talked a lot about on this show and on all of our incarnations of different shows over the years.
Right.
And he is a terrible basketball owner over a 30-year sample.
Yep.
But the one thing that I give him credit for is whether he's a bumbling idiot of an owner or not, he sits there and lives and dies by every single game, courtside. Fans feel like they are fighting against Pohlad ownership. And whether that's 100% right or wrong, they've done nothing to step up and try and change that perception. They've just sort of sat in the shadows quietly, talking about right-sizing business more than talking about winning.
You were, 8 years old when the Twins won their last World Series?
I was 6.
You were 6. Oh, that's right. You were 6.
Tom, I do remember as a kid watching in my living room when Dan Gladden, it was one of my early childhood memories. And I remember going to like my first or second grade classrooms, and they had the newspaper clippings up every morning that, Twins going to the World Series or Kirby Puckett Game 6.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was 6 years old.
6 years old. And they've done nothing since you were.
I turned 40 in the spring. I turned 40 in about, I don't know, 7 months.
7, 8 months. You'll be 40.
Yeah.
And since you were 6, that's great. That's wonderful.
Go Twins. Fantastic. Go Pohlads.
But you know what? Look at the NBA and look at the NHL. Nothing.
And state of hockey, by the way. State of hockey.
Yes, the state of hockey. Well, the University of Minnesota kicks in once in a while anyway, so that's good.
Well, that's another thing. If you want to talk about my tortured fandom, so I was very excited to enroll in the University of Minnesota as a freshman in 2003, coming off back-to-back hockey national championships. And so my friends and I immediately bought the season tickets for student section, right, at Mariucci. It's going to be great. Keep riding this dynasty. No, they haven't won. They lost to like Holy Cross in the first round or something. Haven't won a thing since.
Why do Minnesotans put up with it? I just don't really understand it.
Yeah, it's like, it's funny. It's like we feel guilty or oddly sympathetic at the moment where we need to double down as fans and media.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, I guess we feel kind of bad. They sent out a nice PR glossed statement saying how much they've loved being stewards of the Twins. Like, where was that for the last 10 years? For the last 20 years?
Do you think it was a coincidence and I didn't know they were going to try to sell the team? This is the first year that I have not gone to a Twins game since I was 9 years old.
Wow.
Because the team sucked. They didn't even try to be good.
Yeah, they showed a pulse for a couple months.
Yeah.
And then in classic fashion, when it comes down to, all right, it's trade deadline.
Right.
Are you serious about winning? Are you serious about making a run? And almost every single year, the only exception during the last, Derek Falvey has been the president of baseball operations for 8 years now. They've made one big push at the trade deadline in the 8 years he's been running the baseball operations.
Unbelievable.
So that's either him strategically saying, I don't believe in making trades at the trade deadline, which a bunch of other teams that win the World Series feel differently, or it's ownership saying, let's be careful about adding extra expenses or trading prospect capital.
Why, if you're worth $4.5 billion, you care about expenses is something I just don't fathom.
So the part of the Twin Cities Business Mag story that came out was essentially, it was strongly implying through background conversations that Joe Pohlad is disappointed that he doesn't get to keep running the team, but that the third generation family members, because you go from Carl and Eloise owning the team to then the next generation, there's 5, and now you get to the third generation, there's just a lot of people in a room trying to make decisions.
Right.
That it was the rest of the family that has really no interest in baseball, no interest in having their name dragged through the mud the way that it tends to be, and that it's just that the family sort of outvoted Joe when they were talking about whether they should sell the team or not. So,
well, what are you going to do? So, do you think the team will stay here or will it move?
It'll stay.
I think so.
I don't think there's any. Yeah, I think baseball is not looking to remove teams from top 15 media markets, although the Oakland A's leaving. I mean, technically, Oakland is Bay Area, which is a top 5, top 6 media market, but Oakland has never run itself that way. So I don't think, and plus I think there's 15 years left on the Target Field lease.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, there's the answer there.
It's complicated.
What's funny about that is I've been to both San Francisco games and I've been to Oakland games, and I loved both of them. I going to that stadium, I didn't have any problem going to that stadium. I thought it was terrific.
Yeah. Now there were like live possums living in the press box,
That's
and
true.
I think rats and sewage flooding in the clubhouse. But
where did I grow up? You think we had any rats in our house when I was?
Yeah.
So I guess
I'm standing sewage water.
Oh, that happened too. Yes. My favorite of all time, though, and I won't say who it was, but you guys might not remember this, but they used to have clothing chutes in houses where you'd open a little like cabinet door and put your clothes down, and it would go drop down into a basket down in the basement. Very cool. You didn't have to carry any dirty clothes. You just drop down the chute. You guys ever seen one of those?
Yeah.
Okay, you have. Good. Because somebody I'm very, very close to and happen to love a great deal, Dad came home, a few too many, vomited on his shirt and pants, tried to put it down the little clothes chute. It landed on the pipe of the heater, and the whole house smelled like vomit.
That's I'm gonna also take issue with if he were to have picked the right chute. I'm not sure that's the correct play, though, either. Just a soaking wet, vomit-filled bundle of clothing. We're just going to throw it down the chute? Oh,
very true. It's true. All right, Pally. Well, let's hang in there together, try to get through this slog through this yet another battle with the Pohlads and the Twins.
Yeah. And then next, we'll talk Friday. Vikings-Lions shaping up to be one of the marquee matchups in the NFL next weekend. So
they haven't won anything since, 1954, I think, the Lions. Is that right?
That's mid-50s is when they won their last championship.
I think it was 54, I think, if I remember correctly. But I don't know. I was only like 2 years old, so what the hell do I know? But I tell you what, I'm a fool because I've been to Detroit many times. I love Detroit. A lot of people won't even go to Detroit. I love that town.
Well, Motown, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, Pally, we'll talk to you again on Friday.
All right, guys. Sounds good.
Thanks a lot, Phil. Phil Mackey, ladies and gentlemen. SKOR North. We'll take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. Some other Hunyucks go. Oh, it's Chris Egert. CE, I call him. That's his name. Mike Lindell of MyPillow employees want to thank our listeners for all your continued support. When Mike started MyPillow, just a problem solution, one product company. Well, since then, they now have hundreds of products, some you may not even know about. For example, the brand new 4-pack dish towels, just $25. 6-pack towel sets, just $25. Bed sheets for as low as $25. Check out their overstock and closeout sale and save up to 80% off select items. You're looking for a good night's sleep? Take advantage of the classic collection on a variety of MyPillows for as low as $9.88. These amazing offers won't last long, so order now. Just go to MyPillow.com or call 800-516-5146 and use promo code TOM.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
Let us take a second to talk about my bank. That'd be North American Banking Company. Look, there's no shortage of banking options in the Twin Cities. You know that. If you're tired of being just a number to your big national bank, be sure to talk to my friends at North American Banking Company. They offer the same online and mobile banking options as other banks, but with the unparalleled service of a community bank. I also like being able to go to any of their 6 Twin Cities locations: Roseville, 50th and France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, and Maple Grove. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. I've been waiting for several hours to talk to you about this.
Yeah.
Cannot believe SpaceX catches Starship rocket booster back at the launch pad. Did you see the video of that?
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's insane. It's like how that thing just, it's like parking a car. Like what?
And I think it failed 4 times prior. So for them to stick that, and did you see like the video of the SpaceX people? They're like freaking out. Like, I'm just thinking all these like rocket scientists, and they're all like, it was funny. It was very cool though. And
it was,
I guess for people who aren't, all that well versed on it, it's important because they can save a whole lot of money by reusing those rocket parts. That was always NASA. You think of all those rockets just went up and that was it, and it fell in the ocean. And but so that's the deal. And so if they get better at the launching and they're able to do it more quickly because they're able to reuse things, saves less money, or saves money, ultimately kind of
expands their capacity to be able to do more space travel. So yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, no question about it. I just happened to catch it, and it because it was a little bit tipped over when it was just coming in, and I thought, oh, but it straightened out, and it was a good landing.
It's so I used to work in Orlando, and it's the coolest thing to be out there on the Space Coast for a launch. That was off of Cape Canaveral, I assume.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Certain.
And the rocket will go, you watch it on TV, and then you step outside, and by the time you step outside, it's up enough because Cape Canaveral is like 45 minutes away from Orlando.
Right.
And so they were still launching shuttles, and we lived there. And it was so cool because you do the launch sequence, it'd go up, and then you go outside, and the whole freaking sky was lit up, like 50 miles away from the Cape. Yeah, it was so cool. I think back on that, and I didn't really realize how awesome it was at the moment, because then the shuttle program died, and that was the end of that.
Yeah.
But
it did indeed. I have to ask you a question. I've been meaning to ask you this now for about 2 years, and I don't ever think of it.
Yeah.
What was the name of that big morning show in Orlando when you worked there? There was a big morning radio show, but I can't remember who it was.
The Monsters of the Morning or something, I think is their name.
Monsters of the Morning.
Yeah.
They were pretty good.
Yeah, they were huge. They were really big. They I don't know if they even still exist anymore, but yeah, something, I think Monsters.
Yeah. God, they were huge, man.
They were.
No question about it. So in any case, moving on from there, what else is in the
it's been a fairly quiet day here locally, which is fine. A bunch of postal workers are doing a letter carrier strike in Minneapolis today because I guess they've been working for like 16 months without a contract. So they're off today because yeah, I was like, well, no comment. Yeah, so that's going on today. And we're doing a fundraiser for Hurricane Milton and Helene today at Channel 5 all day today too. So I know we're going to be connecting with one of these aid organizations down there, and as folks are sort of trying to get dug out from the two hurricanes back to back. I think I just read there's like 500,000 people without power right now in Florida, which is better than it was 3 million right after Milton went through. But because of Milton, you haven't heard much about what's going on in the Carolinas, and that situation's not gotten better anytime quickly. So yeah, there's lots of need out there. So if people are interested in donating, they can go to KSTP.com and look there, and we've got information for people to donate. So
did you go through any of that when you lived in Orlando?
Yeah, we had 2004 we had Charlie, Francis, and Jean.
Oh God,
and Orlando hadn't taken a direct hit from a hurricane and prior to that until it was like the 60s. So it was and it did a lot of damage, but they're all different. And you hear people say that, but they all have different characteristics, and either some are more wind driven storms, some are more rain, so you don't know until they get there.
You know what's amazing about that? It's got to be a sign that the average deity is evil, because you look at the two best places for weather in the United States. One has hurricanes, the other one has earthquakes.
Right? It's balance, right? It's balance.
Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. Texas gets nailed. People are expecting Texas to get hammered with some hurricanes and tornadoes coming up in the next couple of years. I don't know why they think that, but they think that might be the next spot.
Well, Houston has been hit a lot with some extreme weather the last several years, and I don't remember that happening a lot. And I don't know. How do I put this without being controversial? Well, I think there's a lot about the climate change that we don't know, but I also know that there can be active patterns when, the tropics are busier than other, I'm not ready to jump on that whole, the train of thought that all these hurricanes are going to be bad forever now because of the climate change. But I don't know. It definitely, there have been a lot of things that have been hitting the Houston area the last, several years. So
I have a question for you. Is the Eastern Hemisphere, is their climate a lot worse than ours?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, I'd like to know. Nobody ever points that out because there are 5 times more people living in that continent.
I mean, I guess I would think so, but
you don't hear about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question.
A lot of money to be made in any of that stuff. That's all I know.
For sure. And I think that's why it's hard for me, the climate conversation is so politically, and it's driven so much by special interest. It's hard to sort of look at it with an unbiased opinion, because it's being pushed and pulled so many different directions because of people's interests. So,
yeah. And I'd be honest with you, I drive a 100% electric car. My wife has a hybrid. We do pay a lot of attention to that climate. I guess not so much the climate part of it, but the let's not poison the atmosphere, which is part of the climate thing. But yeah, Catherine, it's not like Catherine and I still love the fact we're worried about climate change, but if you walk more than 5 feet, you're going to either see a pop bottle or a beer can in the street. People are still throwing their shit in the street. I just don't understand.
No, that's funny you say that. Remember, Tevin and AJ, you guys wouldn't remember this, but when I was a kid and when Tom was a younger man, there was this commercial, and this Indians like walking down the highway, and this station wagon speeds by and throws this bag of trash out, and it lands at the Indian man's feet. He gets a tear in his eye, and it was like, don't litter. And it's like a classic commercial from the 70s, 80s. But I mean, I'm just thinking that's like 40 plus years ago, where we're like trying to get people to stop throwing their trash out the window, and they're still like,
I was in that commercial, but they cut my part out, because my part, when the person in the car throws the garbage out and it lands at his feet, my only line was effing honkies, but they cut it out of the commercial. I don't know why. It cost me a ton of money, but
I love that commercial. I just pulled it up a couple years ago to watch it again. It reminds me of yesteryear. I'm sure nobody was wearing seatbelts in that car either. I can guarantee you.
Oh no, not back
Hell
then.
no. Hell no.
Right.
3 people were smoking cigarettes in the front seat.
Yeah, with the kid in the back. Yeah.
Right.
With no seatbelt.
No car seat.
No car seat. Nothing. All right, young man, you got a brilliant day coming up in news reporting today, do you?
Yep. It's every day is a good day when you're vertical, I always say.
Good plan. I like it. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, guys. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Thanks a lot. Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. We shall take a break. Be right back. Sansevere here to ruin the show in just a few minutes. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold's do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank all our listeners for all your continued support. When Mike started MyPillow, it was just a problem solution, one product company. Well, since then, they now have hundreds of products some of you may not even know about. For example, the brand new 4-pack dish towel sets, just $25. 6-pack towel sets, just $25. Bed sheets for as low as $25. Check out their overstock and closeout sale and save up to 80% off select items. You're looking for a good night's sleep? Take advantage of the classic collection on a variety of MyPillows for as low as $9.88. These amazing offers won't last long, so order now. Just go to MyPillow.com or call 800-516-5146 and use promo code TOM.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with the notorious, the illustrious, the beautiful Bob Sansevere.
Boy, are you trying to buy time? We're Tom.
How are you doing today, Bob?
Oh, I'm doing great. And by the way, I'm gonna wait for Tom. How the hell old is Chris? That Addy reference came out in 1971.
I think he's like 50.
Yeah.
I think he saw it because it's been referenced on The Simpsons and on South Park. I think that's where he saw the ad in cartoon form.
Could be. You never know.
The guy, Iron Eyes Cody, was the Native American who played that guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Sansevere Sports brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. So, Bob, no football game over the weekend. The Twins suck.
But there's a big but here, Tom.
What's
the
the big
NFC
but?
North might be through 6 games the best. It is the best division in football right now.
Yep.
The only division without a losing record in it. And these teams are 4 and Detroit didn't play last week. They had their bye. They're 4-1, 4-2 for the Packers and the Bears. And here's the great stat of the weekend. The team that had the fewest points over the weekend of the three were the Packers with only 34 points.
Jesus.
They scored 116 combined, and the team that allowed the most points, I got something burning my eye.
No, all this greatness is bringing a tear to your eye.
Yeah, it's bringing. Yes, I feel like Iron Eyes Cody. The team that scored allowed the most points were the Bears. They allowed 16.
Ooh.
The Packers allowed 13 to an Arizona team that was looking like it could put up some points. And the Lions, my God, the Cowboys. He's got a clean house there. Poor Mike Zimmer be back on his farm in Kentucky. 9 points is what the offense scored and gave up 47. That defense of Zimmer's.
Jesus.
How many bags of chew do you think he went through during that game?
Oh my God. He does have guys hurt, but everybody's got guys hurt.
Yeah.
Bob, let me ask you a question about him. Is his personality really as bad as it appears?
No, I actually like the guy. He's not a bad, but he's incredibly blunt.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I like that.
He tells you what he thinks, and he doesn't mince words. And if he doesn't like you, he's going to let you know. If he doesn't like something you did, he's going to let you know.
God, I don't know anybody like that. Do you?
No, nobody at all. There's a story of that he and Paul Allen, the guy that does the play-by-play.
Yeah.
They actually they co-owned a racehorse at Canterbury.
I didn't know that.
Yep, they did, and then Paul said something that Zimmer took as like, I don't know, he didn't like it. A comment that he made. He basically called him and said, "I'm buying you out." So he did not want to be, co-owner anymore. So
how much does a horse like that even cost?
No idea. I don't know if it was a
no
really good
clue.
one. It was. I mean, at Canterbury, you could find some decently priced, and you could just find some, horses that just go out there and run and don't have much success running.
Right.
But it can't be cheap. Well, Tom, you know how expensive it is just to have a horse.
Oh, God, yes.
But to stall it at Canterbury and what the fees must be to get in a race and to train them, because you need a trainer, you need a group. I mean, it's a team that has to run that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that too. I don't think it's nearly as expensive. Like if you have a trotter or a pacer at running aces, I don't think it's nearly as expensive as a thoroughbred.
I like the dog races out of Canterbury anyway.
Remember, how long did that dog track last over in Wisconsin? It's just, it's tumbleweed now. I don't know if they ever turned it into anything.
They closed one.
It was like a year. I think it was open. Nobody went. Nobody cared about it.
I think most of the dog tracks around America are closed now, aren't they?
Yeah, you get a lot. Well, I think PETA may have something to do with that, or these groups.
Probably.
Oh, it's cruel. I don't know. Is it cruel to the dog or what they're chasing? It's all the thing they're chasing is not real.
Yeah, and they get chow afterwards. So what the hell is the problem?
Yeah, but they look like they're always they're so lean. So maybe they think they're starving them. I wish I had a body like that.
I got to tell you this. As long as we're talking about dogs, man, it's so great. You've seen Jude before, right? Our dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now 11, almost 12 years old. Catherine had a bunch of stuff. We were in the middle of another move in the last 3 months. Got it done fine. Well, I guess it'll be finished today.
Oh, good.
But the greatest part of it is Catherine leaves to go take something to the other place, and Jude sees her leaving. So when she comes back, she walks in the front door, and he turns his back to her.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, I'm not even going to look at you. What do you think about that?
Okay, now, if he was really mad, did he leave her a few presents when she came in?
No, thank God for that. Thank God, no presents.
Oh, there are dogs that would do that. Oh, yeah?
Honest God, he's looking at me like, don't even ask me to look at her. I'm not doing it.
That's really
the best.
Did she have to kiss up to him?
Oh, God, yes. There's no question about it. She had to snuggle in the whole deal, and he finally caved in about an hour later.
Probably because he got hungry.
Probably. Well, yes, there was food involved. You're right.
Yeah.
So what else is happening, Sandy?
Well, I mean, your Lynx, if you've talked about them, I don't know if you did any of that on with your other guy. Your
other guy.
I don't know. Is it Judd today or is it Phil? I don't know.
Phil is Monday, Friday.
Okay. So with Phil, your other guy, talking sports, and I'm looking forward to this game. A week from right now, we could be talking about the Vikings being second in the NFC North because they play the Lions, and I mean, it really doesn't mean anything till the season's over, but they would mathematically be behind the Lions if they lose to them because both would be 5-1.
Oh, okay, yeah, right.
And I mean, it's going to be. Here's the two things interesting. The Lions absolutely will be without the best defensive player. They have one of the best in the league. Aiden Hutchinson broke his tibia, so he's out indefinitely. I'd say the year, but you never know with these. These having surgery. What did they say?
That he could be back. That he could be back if it goes well by the Super Bowl if they were to make it, which seems awfully quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he would come back if he could. Play in that game. But
that's just like Aaron Rodgers last year saying he was ready like 6 months after tearing. I was like, no, buddy, go sit in a dark room again.
Yeah. Well, and like Adrian Peterson saying after he tore his ACL, I'll be playing next year. Yeah. What did he do? He ran for 2,000 yards. So some guys, you don't know what their bodies can do.
Yeah. Right.
And then the big thing for the Vikings, though, is Aaron Jones, because we really have not gotten a lot of information about that hip, and we won't be hearing anything until now this week. These guys have been off. So that's critical because then you're left with Ty Chandler, which is not, I mean, Chandler, when he filled in last year, he had one game, he had 150 yards, but there's no real backup. Yeah, there's a backup, but there's too big a drop off and Chandler is a drop off from Aaron Jones. I think he's good, but I don't think he brings that, what Jones brings to the offense. So that's going to be problematic if they wind up losing him. So I'm really looking forward to this game and see how it plays out. That Detroit offense they've got weapons galore.
How did that happen, Bob? They sucked for like 65 years.
They did, but they've made some really good moves. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. There's not a better tandem of running backs in football. They are both phenomenal. And and Jared Goff has played really well for them since they got him. He was like well, let's get Stafford and we'll give him Goff to get rid of him.
Right.
He has played well, and they have now two other receivers besides Amon-Ra St. Brown. Great name, by the way.
Amon-Ra, yes.
Yeah. Jamison Williams is really becoming a good player, and they've got Sam Laporta, one of the best tight ends. He's second year, and the other guy, Tim Patrick, yesterday was terrific. Here's a guy that hadn't played since like 2021 because of injuries. He's always breaking or stretching something, but he's a really good veteran presence for them. They're loaded.
So is it the coach? I mean,
the coach has a lot to do with it.
A lot to do with it.
He also he has made some blunders over the years, but when you talk about a team that players did not love Zimmer, or Childress. Players love this guy because he's a no nonsense guy who he lets like sort of like Zimmer, but there's something about him that they really like. And they also have a great offensive line, and that plays a big hand in it.
Well, Zimmer had no personality that I can remember. He just had no personality at all.
He and Childress, neither one of them did.
Right.
They didn't project any personality.
Where was that again? Where Childress, they brought his car up to him, and he only had a 20 on him, so he didn't want to tip the.
Was that a golf course, or was it just a restaurant?
I can't remember where.
Well, didn't the kid who got the car call you, or you ran into him?
Yes, he did, and he said basically. When Childress came out, he gave him a 20 and then asked him for change because he wanted to tip him like $5, right?
Making millions
of dollars. So the kid, when he says to him, can you break this 20? Because it's all I've got. And, I'd like to give you a $5 tip, but I only have a 20. The kid takes the $20 bill and goes, Anyone have change for a 20? Coach Childress like to change for. He's yelling out, waving the bill around in the air, which I thought was wonderful.
That is pretty. That's pretty quick thinking on the spot. No
that
question.
Is fantastic.
So, but it's and by the way, I have not seen it, but I want to see this movie. You seen the trailers? Any of you for Saturday Night Live? The 90 minutes before the first episode. It looks terrific. It's
that's
out
what I hear,
now. So that's one thing.
And why did they decide? Because when it first came out, it was brought up. When it first came out, it was not political. It talked about political things, but about both sides. When did they decide to turn it completely on one outfit's favor? And why did they do that?
Probably because of the actors they had.
Yeah, probably.
I'm guessing that played a little bit of a role to it. But aren't they they're being pretty tough on both Trump and Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
Yeah, it seems like it, which they're should.
Not letting them skate. They should be, yeah. Because there's plenty of fodder there on both sides.
There's no question about that. That's why I like it. To say, they're doing a wonderful. It's like, really? This is the best we got, huh?
Yeah, 300 million people in the U.S., and these are the two or when you want to go to 4 with the VPs too.
Do you think they're going to cut back on the name calling and they're so weird or this guy's nuts? It's going to get worse, huh?
I think it's going to get worse because I think that I think Walz's role is to go after Trump and go after fans, and that's what he's doing. He's
and then Trump loves to go after people too. So that's
absolutely. They all do.
I guess so, but
and you know what? I here's what I'm tired of. I'm tired of one side or the other saying the other side lies. They both just watch both sides. There's not a word out of their mouth that I think is true from either side.
Well, where can you find truth now, Bob? Because I'm having a bitch of a time.
At the school board level.
That's like the worst place.
No, what are you talking about? I happen to be on the school board as well.
No, you've always been on the school board.
No, I was on the city council for 8 years. And
that's what it was. Okay.
And you know what, Tom? What I had realized, I'm not going to go off on a tangent here, but if people are thinking about doing public service, look into your city council or your school board because you could make a real difference there. You go to the state legislature, you're just you're not making a difference.
When are you running for governor?
That was what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
You got
Bob
the
for
resume
governor.
from school board to city council to governor.
Oh, from city council. 8 years on the city council. I'll 8 years on the school board. It'll be 10 when my term is up, and maybe then I'll decide.
You should. I'll do your commercials. Bob Sansevere. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to put you, Tom. I want to have you as my political advisor. You, AJ, and Tevin. You could be my inner circle.
Why can't I be the lieutenant governor so I could just have you killed and then I'd be governor?
Done.
We're done. We got it covered.
It's done. You're my lieutenant governor.
Sandy, always brilliant reporting. That's all I know from you.
And watch you up to date on Tulsa King.
I love Tulsa King.
I like this season.
Great show. Oh God, yes.
Episode 5, I thought was pretty good. Last night.
He doesn't even open his mouth anymore.
Oh, he's just phenomenal.
By
the way, did you see the latest one yet?
No.
Okay,
you mean the one that just came out last night?
Came out.
No, I did not see
it. Look at the veins popping out of his chest. The guy is still hitting the weights hard that he can't even keep his veins in his body.
That's very, very true. I haven't talked to his brother in a while. I used to talk to his brother like 6, 8, 10 times a year, but I haven't talked to him.
Older or younger?
I don't even know.
Frank's
Stallone.
He's 78, right? Isn't Stallone almost 80?
I believe you're right. He's almost 80 years old.
See, I would have thought by now, AJ, you want to be part of the administration. You should have had the answer already.
Yeah, Frank is 74.
See?
6 years younger or 4 years younger.
Right. Tevin's moving up the ladder.
Tevin's moving up the political ladder, ladies and gentlemen.
4 years younger than Sylvester.
AJ, you know what? I'm going to put you on the sports commission so you can oversee your Wild.
Okay. I mean, at this point, I need something to oversee that defense of theirs because it's been
not good.
Hey, Tom, AJ will be what are those jobs that they have where the guys that show up and sit in the chair for the union jobs and get paid?
Oh yeah, yeah. There you go.
One of those jobs. You get a
nice. All right,
Sandy,
we're going to talk to you again later this week, Pally.
Righty.
Looking forward to it, Bob. Thank you. Bob Sansevere Sports brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. That's MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. We'll be back in a couple of minutes, cover all the top stories. And we're only about 10 minutes away from Kristen Burt's one appearance in the next 3 days. What the hell?
We got to have a serious chat with her.
We really do. Yeah. It's just nonstop. Give from us and a collapse on her part. Right?
Yeah, I mean, that sums up the relationship.
Really does. Yeah. There's no question.
At least this week.
Ladies and gentlemen, right back. We'll check out the headlines right after this. I'm talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, business owners have had to deal with a lot over the last few years, haven't they?
They sure have, Tommy. We pride ourselves on being able to help our customers with the challenges they face.
Our business bankers are experts and are always ready to help our customers capitalize on opportunities and solve problems.
Loan decisions come quickly because they're made here in the Twin Cities and not shipped out of state like at some of the national banks in town.
This allows our customers to expand their businesses with confidence, knowing that they have our team of experts in their corner.
Okay, so now you give me this big thing at the end. Way to go.
Well, you are the professional.
Oh, I forgot. Look, I know Brad and Mike, and I trust them with my banking. They've personally delivered on everything they've just said, so why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombernardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Yes, I have to ask you guys a question. When I walked in this morning, that T-shirt that's now over there was on the floor over here.
Yeah.
So would somebody come in and tear it down?
My guess is that the little square behind you, however it's put up,
still not
didn't
sticking.
Hold up.
So I got to do something about that because KB2 is going to be pissed off when she can't see your name behind me.
Yeah, we'll have to get some like thumbtacks or something and put it directly into the wall. We'll figure it out.
Works for me. No question about it. Okay, a couple of things wanted to cover. And I'll go, you guys get to vote on which goes first. Okay. Famous albums that were banned by Walmart, or these are the top trending Halloween costumes of 2024. Banning or costumes? Which one you want first?
I kind of want to go band music because we'll have plenty of time for the costumes.
Absolutely.
That's very true. Okay, here we go. Famous albums that were banned by Walmart. Why would Walmart ban any album?
You know, they're looking out for the kids.
Yeah, and I would say it's probably a lot of them that were named something that maybe they shouldn't be named.
You mean like F the Police?
Yeah, something like that.
That's a possibility. You might be right about that. That was an actual song, by the way.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about the Ice Cube song.
Yep.
They had the police showed up in one city to try and get him to stop it. And they were like, yeah, we're going to keep going. Yeah.
I always liked him. He used to come on the show once in a while. He was a good guy.
Yeah. And his life story of going from F the Police to making Are We There Yet?
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3 is wild. Family man now.
It's very true. All right, here's the deal. Walmart has banned its share of albums over the years. UltimateClassicRock.com put out a list of the 20 most famous ones, 10 examples. Now, I'm not going to say any of them. Do you have albums that were banned by Walmart? Do you have one that you want to know if they banned or not?
No, but I feel like there was one in my lifetime that got banned by Walmart, but I couldn't tell you what it was.
Okay, let me know because we got 10 of them.
Okay.
Okay, this one I could see why it might get banned because, hey, Dad, I was at Walmart and I saw this album there. What does suck it and see mean? Yeah, I can see that might be banned at Walmart. Yeah. Suck it and see. I've never even heard of the Arctic Monkeys.
Arctic Monkeys. I feel like they've got...
you got them?
I've heard them before. I didn't know that was a name of their album, though. That's
Suck It and See. That's the name of their album.
All right.
Arctic Monkeys, Walmart objected simply because of the title, even though it's a British expression, mean give it a try. Suck it and see means give it a try. Well, is it about the same thing you're giving a try?
This feels like a double entendre because the saying might be about like a beverage. Try it out, suck on that straw and see if you like it. But I'm sure they were being cheeky with that selection.
Undertow by Tool, the inside of the album included a male and female nudity pictures, a cow licking itself, and members of the band with pins in their heads. Why do you care about pins in your head?
I guess, if it's kind of a little risque photos and things like that on the inside, you don't want to sell it.
Is that the one Caught in the Undertow? That's that song, isn't it?
I have no idea, but I'm going to go with what you said.
It's a good song, actually. If that's the song,
I think that's like a Linkin Park song.
That's Linkin Park. You're right. You're 100% right. Very good. I knew I could count on you
for all your Linkin Park.
All my Linkin Park news. Countryman by Willie Nelson. Wally World objected to the pot leaves on the cover. I love this so far. I might buy all these albums. Here's one. This one came out of North Minneapolis. It's Green Day. The album is just called Dookie. Now, do most white people remember Dookie Stick? Or do you remember Dookie Stick?
Nope.
No
Look
idea.
up Dookie Stick while I'm talking.
This is a work computer, so.
No way. It's an album that was out. Okay. So Dookie Stick, or Dookie in this case, by Green Day. Poop bombs, monkeys throwing feces, an atomic mushroom cloud, and an angel with a harp happily watching it all. What?
It's I mean, I've looked at this extensively because I own the album. It's like a cartoon drawing. It's like a Where's Waldo style. It's like there's a lot going on in the cover art. So this one feels like a weird band to me. Like band, if that makes sense. Like I don't think that one is worthy of that personally. Though.
No, I understand. We close out the bottom five with Fat of the Land, Prodigy. The song on there that pissed everybody off was Smack My Bitch Up.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Yeah, that'll do it, won't it?
He probably regrets that song, I would assume, today.
I would think so. I just don't know Catherine would handle Smack My Bitch Up too well. I just don't see it.
Catherine, I'm going to go make a song. Yeah, it's the title's what? Well, some new song title is Catherine Smack Tom Up.
That's the new title. Number 5. We kick off the top 5 with some good ones. Goddamn Evil by Striper. These guys do Christian metal, and the title is obviously anti-evil, but Walmart objected to the goddamn part.
Well, I've never heard of Striper.
I haven't either.
No.
Never heard. But goddamn evil, isn't that a good thing? Not a bad thing. It's not goddamn you, it's goddamn evil.
Yeah, but I think it falls under like the Lord's name in vain from a Christian band, which is kind of a weird dynamic to have, but I guess.
You know, my favorite of all time, and I can't remember, was a friend of mine's dad. Every time he got upset, instead of dropping the F-bomb or saying something like that, he'd go, Christ on a crutch. What the hell? What's that even mean? Christ on a crutch. I don't get it. Sheryl Crow, the song Love is a Good Thing, had a line about kids killing each other with guns they bought at Walmart. Yeah, I can see why Walmart wouldn't sell that.
Okay. That's like the first one that's like directly makes sense.
Yes,
like you're going to talk some crap about us, we're going to ban your album.
Then you got Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky, John Mellencamp. Seriously, John Mellencamp, the original cover had Jesus and the devil on it. So John got rid of them. Why? Who cares?
The Cougar.
He's a good guy.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's come in the studio all the time. Just a really, really good guy. Walmart also banned Nirvana's In Utero because the back cover included fetuses and the song title Rape Me. This time, Nirvana made changes to get it on the shelves, supposedly because it wasn't selling as well as they'd hoped. Well, if they pull it from the shelves, it's going to be a bitch to sell it.
Yeah.
Okay. But number 1, Nirvana gets the top 2 spots. Whoa. Nevermind by Nirvana. I love Nevermind. Is that the one that had a little baby floating around in the water?
I'm guessing that's going to be the problem here is that there's a little baby
appendage.
Yeah.
That's what it is?
Yeah.
Nevermind. Nirvana, obviously, for the naked baby on the cover. Nirvana refused to alter it, and Walmart eventually gave in because the album was such a big hit. Well, was it a little baby penis?
Yeah. Even back then, you would think so. It would have been like, maybe we crop this out.
Well, throw like if you got a big problem, Walmart, maybe have one of the people that you're paying like $5 an hour throw a sticker on the spot,
Yeah.
And then you throw it on the shelf, and then boom, we're done.
The Walmart smiley face.
Yeah, exactly. Boom, there you go.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The most searched Halloween costume this year, according to Google Trends, is Shrunken Head Bob from Beetlejuice. That's out right now. He's followed by Australian breakdancer Ray Gun and Catnap from Poppy Playtime. I have no idea. Am I still speaking English here?
Yeah, Poppy Playtime. That's nowhere on my radar.
I'm not sure what that is, but Ray Gun. Glad to hear the Ray Gun thing from the Olympics is still happening.
Yeah, that's right.
Still a thing.
Okay, here are your top 10 overall costumes for this Halloween. Are you guys going to dress up for Halloween this year?
I haven't decided.
Probably not.
I haven't in quite some time, so I should think about it. You got Lady Deadpool. I have no idea what that even means.
That's from the newest Deadpool Wolverine movie.
Marvel character, yeah.
Oh, okay. Sabrina Carpenter.
Yep, singer.
Okay.
Dr. Doom.
No clue.
Number 7, Red from Descendants, The Rise of Red. I don't know what any of these things are.
I must have missed that movie.
Yeah, I must have. Envy from Inside Out. Your top 5 would be Pomni from The Amazing Digital Circus. Who the hell has ever heard of this stuff?
I think I might be old.
Yeah.
Number 4, Dolores from Beetlejuice. Number 3 is Catnap from the horror video game Poppy Playtime. Number 2 is Ray Gunn, the Australian breakdancer extraordinaire.
Okay.
And Shrunken Head Bob from Beetlejuice. He's actually called Shrinker Bob. Have you heard of any of this stuff?
Yeah, some of it, but I think I'm more unfamiliar with most of it.
Yeah, and there's a couple of these that are definitely little kid
Okay.
costumes that got worked in.
Gotcha.
That's what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll include these only because have you ever gone with your girlfriend, your wife, your boyfriend, whatever the hell it is, and did the duo costume deal?
Yep.
Have you?
Yeah. Like a Bugs Bunny, Lola Bunny from like Looney Tunes, Space Jam. Yeah.
I bet you made a great Lola.
Oh, I was a foxy Lola. Yeah.
You know, Catherine went, were you? Okay.
I don't know.
Catherine went one year as, I'm trying to think of what the hell character. Oh, she was Lucille Ball.
Okay.
From the Lucy show. She went as, because she's redhead anyway, so it all worked out in the end. But honest to God, I thought, well, why don't I go as Desi? Catherine's like, you're going to go as Desi? No, you're going to go as Haas from Bonanza. That's who you're going as. I'm like, okay, my dear. Thank you very, very much. I really do appreciate it. So very quickly, the top 10 duo costumes, a deer and its hunter, Mordecai and Rigby from the regular show. I don't know what that is. You know what that is?
Nope.
That's a cartoon. I've heard about it, but I've never seen it.
Max and Roxanne from a Goofy movie. Is that Goofy from Disney?
Yes, that is like a 2004 movie or something like that.
All right. Then you got Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde from Zootopia, Kim Possible and Ron Stoppable. His name is Ron Stoppable?
It is.
Yeah.
What the hell kind of
It was a cartoon where she was a superhero and he was kind of the ditzy, uncoordinated side.
So it's a Kim Possible thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a very easy costume to pull off. You just wear black.
Pretty much. Like, yeah.
Well, there you go. Okay. Your top 5, Lightning McQueen and Sally from Cars.
Not as easy to pull off.
No.
I'm saving 4, by the way. 4 is my favorite. Oh, so Lightning McQueen and Sally from Cars. Yeah, that is pretty. That'd be spendy, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a little expensive.
Hard to get through doors.
We're saving 4 for last. Janet and Rita, also known as the Grannies on Bluey. Oh my God, my grandson loves Bluey. Oh Jesus. Velvet and Vermeer from Trolls Band Together. And number 1 is Wolverine and Deadpool. But our number 1 on this show, this is either 2 guys, 2 women, or a man and woman dressed as a Jack and Coke.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty good.
I like that.
Oh, here comes trouble. We're getting sued.
No, you're not getting sued.
Why not?
Okay, you want to be sued? We'll get you sued.
If you want to be sued, we'll get you sued. Thank you. While you're getting ready, we'll take a break here. Be right back. Kristen Bird and Michael Bryant will join us right after this. Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank all our listeners for all your continued support. When Mike started MyPillow, it's just a problem solution, one product company. Well, since then, they now have hundreds of products, some of you may not even know about. For example, the brand new 4-pack dish towel sets, just $25. 6-pack towel sets, just $25. Bed sheets for as low as $25. Check out their overstock and closeout sale and save up to 80% off select items. You're looking for a good night's sleep? Take advantage of the classic collection on a variety of MyPillows for as low as $9.88. These amazing offers won't last long, so order now. Just go to MyPillow.com or call 800-516-5146 and use promo code TOM.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast. And I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Look, Michael Bryant joined us today, Kristen. What do you think of that act?
Long time no
Been
see.
a while. Yeah, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Excellent. Excellent.
Good. I know. I feel like it's been at least a year, if not more.
Probably. Yeah, that's probably about
Maybe
right. Because
2
I ended
years.
up on Monday, so it might even be longer than that. So I was on Mondays of the podcast, and you're Thursdays, right?
I was Tuesdays.
No, but on the family.
I was on
Yeah.
Tuesdays, I
Oh,
think.
Tuesdays. That's right.
Yeah,
Tuesdays,
I think
that's
so.
right.
Yeah. Well, good to
Oh,
see
wow.
you.
And even a video of you. There's your hello.
I know. Not in my usual spot. I'm on the road still.
You're whispering.
Yeah.
Why are you whispering?
I'm not whispering.
Yes, you are. You're doing that.
I'm not. I'm talking in my normal voice.
That was my first thought was, are you okay? Like, are you
I'm
trying not to
fine.
wake somebody up next door?
No.
She's a
I'm
hostage.
talking in my normal voice.
He's a hostage.
I don't know why it's I'm in a more soundproof area, so maybe that's it.
Now, listen to this, though. You do not see the KB1, KB2 shirt behind me.
Where to go?
I got in this morning. It's laying on the floor. So I hung
Who's
it on the
stomping
other.
all over it? That's rude.
I don't know. No, I already hung it up on the wall. So now I got to get some.
You need shelves.
Yeah, we need thumbtacks.
You're not known for your hanging abilities, are you?
I am already well hung, so I don't have to worry about it. You walked right into that
I
one.
set you up.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I think you need like shelves and you can put up different Tom Barnard things that matter to the show.
They're already up. All the stuff that matters.
All I see is soundproofing behind you.
Yeah, soundproofing. That's what really, really matters. Okay, so I'm never talking to you again once I finish the last 2 episodes of Monsters. That show gets worse by the day.
Well, you know, this is no big surprise how
Oh,
this
my
ends.
God, it's so
I didn't spoil it for you.
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
Although the story is continuing because, I mean, they could be out. They could
That's
be
right.
out by the end of the year, could be in 30 days. I mean, everyone's speculating, but it's quite possible that with a fresh set of eyes and evidence that, wasn't entered into some of the appeals, it's kind of interesting to see how this evolves. And I love Gypsy Rose Blanchard is already offering advice to the Menendez brothers, like get into therapy if you get out of jail.
Oh, well, there you go.
One criminal to another.
Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. No, I will tell you, honest to God, it's very, very well acted. The people they put in it are really good.
Yeah, it's,
But I hate
Ryan Murphy always draws the best cast. I mean, he can honestly ask any A-lister and they will jump at an opportunity to work with him because he's doing really relevant stuff. I don't know how he's keeping up with the pace. He reminds me of Taylor Sheridan too, someone who is just working at a very fast pace. But what I do like about Ryan Murphy is he covers stuff that kind of hit that cultural touch point for all of us, things that cross the masses, whether it's the OJ trial, Dahmer. I mean, and Dahmer was gruesome and brutal. It was worse than the Menendez brothers, believe it or not. And but it's interesting to see how he really has his kind of like finger on the pulse of like what is happening.
Where's Monsters? Which platform is that on?
Netflix.
Okay.
Netflix. Definitely
really
worth.
interesting.
Have you been watching The Penguin?
I haven't.
Oh, that's Colin Farrell is unbelievable.
He's phenomenal.
He's a great actor.
Yep.
I saw over the weekend, I saw Superman, which is the Christopher Reeve documentary.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually went to the movie theater to see it, believe it or not. And I will tell you, it is, we obviously know the sad aspects to it, but I think it really brings Christopher Reeve like into a real 3D version of like who he was before,
right,
who he was after, what the marriage was like, and how Dana Reeve never left his side. And then also sort of dives into his really close relationship with Robin Williams and how people believe that Robin Williams still would have been alive if Chris had still been alive.
Oh, wow.
And how bonded they were. And I know a lot of people I talked to about this, and people are like, I don't want to see it. It seems so sad. I'm like, it's so, yes, it's sad. And there's moments you're going to, bring a box of tissues and when you're watching it, but at the same time, it's really hopeful because of the amount of research that happened because of Chris when it comes to brain injuries and how many people have been affected and how many people are now walking because of him. And there's a real uplifting element to his legacy because his kids are incredible. 2 of his adult kids, well, all of his kids are adults now, but 2 of them from his first marriage. And then Will, who was and he lost both of his parents at 12 and 13, which is just devastating. And now he works for Good Morning America. So it was really interesting just to see a real 3-dimensional look at this story.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. I will tell you one thing that's done for me, and I commented on it a little bit before, but even more now, because I've been pissed off at my father for pretty much 70 years. And, it wasn't the greatest. There was some abuse, not the kind that they went through. But I think shows like this are good to put on for people because, I talked about my horrible relationship with my father, and then he abandoned the family, and then he died. And so I've been pissed off at my dad. I'm not pissed off at him anymore. He didn't get anywhere near as bad as that asshole on that TV show.
Monster.
Oh, my God. So it does make you realize no matter how bad you thought your life was, it could be a hell of a lot worse.
Oh, yeah. And Chris Reeve, he was such a ladies' man. It's really interesting to watch that and how he and Robin Williams were on the prowl for a while there. And this movie currently is only in theaters. It is going to Apple TV Plus. They're the ones who produced it.
Oh, yeah.
And you will likely... Right now, they only say coming soon, but I'm assuming they're doing a theatrical run right now because they're going to push for an Oscar nomination, likely. It's honestly, it's worthy of one. It is just really well done. It has the participation. Glenn Close is in it. Whoopi Goldberg is in it. You get to hear from Susan Sarandon, who was also a close friend, and then all the kids participate too. So and his former assistant. So you really get a real understanding of who these people were and how they impacted science and the public and changed lives in the long run, despite the devastation.
No, so that's a good thing.
So definitely worth seeing. And it was fun, looking back and watching him, how William Hurt, because there was a huge group of actors sort of coming up in New York, and Christopher Reeve's like, I'm going to go screen test for Superman. And I guess William Hurt was like, don't sell out. You're a theater guy. Don't do it. And then how doing the movie was a positive and also a negative to his career. So in some ways, William Hurt was a little bit accurate.
Yeah. Why would that be though?
Typecast,
I suppose.
Yeah. And I think now it would be different. If he was cast as Superman, it would be so much different because then he could go off and do a Netflix series, in the off time. But at the time, when you were Superman and that was it, it was like Henry Winkler, you're the Fonz, and struggling with that. A lot of people in sort of the 70s, 80s, and even through the 90s struggled with being typecast as their characters.
Yeah, I just got an email about Hugh Jackman's going on Broadway on a singing tour or a singing thing and stuff. When you think that he's Wolverine and the Music Man, he's crazy.
So talented.
He's incredibly talented.
My friend Warren Carlyle is always the director and choreographer for his either Broadway shows and or tours, and they're an incredible team together. They've worked together for years. They were dancers together before Hugh Jackman was Hugh Jackman, and it's really amazing to see. He's kind of like an old school movie star. In the MGM era, he would have been all over the place, and which I think is incredible. But now it seems more rare to be that triple threat who can sing, dance, and act.
Yeah, he is really, really good. Matter of fact, I don't think I know anybody that doesn't like Hugh Jackman.
No, Ryan Reynolds.
Right. Doesn't care for him too much.
Their rivalries are hilarious.
Yeah,
They're
What is the
besties.
fight over there?
There's no real fight.
They really like each other, but
it's
they
a fake
constantly
fight.
do things ripping each other,
okay.
and they'll do it in commercials. They'll do it on YouTube, like
Social media. They just did it for his birthday, for Hugh Jackman's birthday. They're honest. They're besties, and they're all in the little Taylor Swift universe too. So they're all friends with that crew as well. So you'll see them at Kansas City Chiefs games together.
No question. I know I talk about this all the time, but television keeps getting better and better and better. You know, the stuff that, Timmy Lammers told me about Salem's Lot, and I thought, Salem's Lot's been done 15
the new one?
times. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, he was right. It is very, very good. The acting in it is terrific.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm curious to see what happens in the next couple of years or so, because, Netflix has just canceled a whole bunch of high profile shows over the last week with, actors like Jeff Goldblum and Rob Lowe. And we're seeing the contraction. We're seeing a smaller industry. So we're still, I think, going to get quality, but the quantity is not going to be there. And, it's been interesting because I was on the East Coast during a hurricane, but in talking with a lot of some of the East Coast people I work with, they're just saying there's no need to live in Los Angeles anymore.
Right.
You can live in other cities. You can live in Atlanta. You can live, if you want to, New Mexico. New Jersey has big studios opening. Las Vegas has big studios opening. And people are looking to really kind of like spread out across the U.S. instead of Hollywood being the hub. And that will affect content, though, too. It's going to be pretty fascinating to see how this unfolds.
It just got too expensive. Is that what I mean? Hollywood, everything costs a fortune there.
I mean, it does. And you look at what Joker, too, just an absolute bomb at the box office. It went down 80%. Wait, can you imagine 80% at the box office, like over the first weekend? That's how bad it is. And then you have a movie, I think it was Terrifier 3 that came out, $5 million budget, made $18 million. So people are going to be rethinking budgets, which means less salary for actors as well. And it's why we're seeing actors really lean into the influencer space or businesses. They all own alcohol brands. They're all doing other things because they're not getting those back end points. They're not getting their $20 million salaries anymore. And I know it's like, woe is me, but honestly, if they're living a $20 million lifestyle, they have to keep a pace with that.
Yep. I was watching something, or I was listening to a podcast about John Wick, and the first budget for John Wick was like really, really low. And it was so low that even though he killed like 84 guys in the movie, there's a whole bunch of guys who got re-killed because they were saving money on the kills, And the budget things and the effect on shows is unbelievable.
So, it's going to be a real tight industry, I think, in the next decade. And we haven't even discussed like throwing AI into the mix, and AI is also going to really change things.
Yeah, no question about that. Now, it's Terrifier. I've seen highlights of it, but I've never seen any of the movies. Are they good?
I haven't seen any of them. They're obviously low budget horror. I'm going to bet that they run about 89 minutes, which is kind of like the sweet spot for horror movies. But, it's spooky season. This is the right time. It's, and if you can go and make a huge profit on a film with a lower budget, Hollywood loves that.
Well, they're going to have to do it, I suppose. I still to this day, I just cannot believe the cost of everything now. I mean, somebody told me they went to McDonald's, had a burger, fries, and a Coke, and it was like $15.
Yeah.
What? And nobody's even helping you anymore. You put in your order in the thing, and then it pops out, and like there's no people.
Or you go to the drive-thru and they're like, "Are you ordering through the app?" And you're like, "No, I'm ordering through you."
There you have it.
That's crazy.
It's too bad. I mean, that whole thing. All right. Any big closing words we should know about Sister?
Just so everyone knows, it's NCIS premiere night on CBS. So NCIS and NCIS Origins. So if you want to know the origin story of Leroy, that starts tonight as well. So movie or TV season, all the premieres are still kind of happening. They're rolling them out slowly over the fall.
So you're once again just hitting the road. You got no Kristen Burt till Thursday.
I know, I'm sorry, but then I'll officially be back home and with you guys the rest of the month. It's just been a crazy.
Here's me tomorrow. Kristen, where are you?
Did you guys cry on Thursday and Friday?
We did indeed.
Weeped into your Cheerios all morning.
Tuesday and Wednesday this week, we're weeping into the Cheerios. There's no question.
I'll be back though, and you guys will be annoyed with me as ever. It'll be perfect.
Well, that's pretty easy to get done
Yeah.
there. You know,
It is. It is.
All right, my dear. Look forward to talking to you on Thursday.
See you on Thursday. Good to see you, Michael.
Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. That is going to do it. You know what? I just realized something to Catherine. We're moving again for the 85th time.
Not again.
Because we moved down the hall.
Well, but I thought you haven't done that yet?
It's been about a month at a time.
So it's still a process going on.
Yeah.
then. Oh, okay.
But
I was like, you're not moving out.
I
And
thought
you
this-
get
I thought
kicked
this
out of
was
the
a
building.
third now, yeah.
Honest to God, yeah. You're supposed to pay the rent. I didn't realize that. But yeah, so she won't be in today. Alex is on her anniversary trip. She's
How long
out
have they
in-
been married now?
I have no clue.
I didn't get invited to that wedding, so I don't know.
I don't even know if you were around.
Yeah, I was around. It was
You didn't
early.
get
It was
invited?
early years. I didn't get invited. No, I got invited to Andy's.
Andy's,
I showed
Andy
up,
invited
gave
you.
a present. It was a whole deal. But
So they got to be married now, I would guess, like at least 12 years, maybe.
yeah, it's been no. Geez, how long have I been advertising with you? Too damn long.
Andy.
10 years.
Alex
10
has
years.
been married 10 years. And
Wow.
You've been married how long?
5.
5. Yeah, there you
Okay.
go. Mike's in here bragging about you inviting him to the wedding, but not Alex.
Yep, she kept me out.
Oh, he stays silent. Good political play there. I like that. All right, that's going to do it. Family show with no family other than Andy and me coming up next.